like a man. Put it down and fight like a man.
On a typically quiet residential street in Wapaka, Wisconsin, the calm is shattered, first by shouting, and then the blast of a shotgun.
Oh my God!
A nearby doorbell camera captures the entire thing. The shooter came here to meet someone, but he isn't here to talk. His name is William Wild Bill Zelenski, a former cop who now spends his life trading venomous snakes and rare animals. He believes the teenager, 18-year-old Ryelee Manente, crumpled on the ground in front of him, stole nearly $30,000 worth of his prized reptiles. Standing next to Wild Bill is his girlfriend, Tiffany Powell. And the person he just shot, it's her son. Before the shooting, before the stolen reptiles, there was just William Wild Bill Zelenski. He's not exactly famous, but inside a niche world like the Midwest reptile scene, he's someone. He trades venomous snakes and rare lizards worth thousands. He films videos with them. And he talks like a guy who's been around danger his whole life. He lives with Tiffany Powell and her kids. Her son, 18-year-old Ryelee, is loud, impulsive, and not especially deferential to the man dating his mom. 1 week before the shooting, Bill calls 911 and says his home has been burglarized. He tells dispatch that firearms, alcohol, and his most valuable reptiles were stolen, animals he claims are worth upwards of $30,000. He names suspects immediately, Ryelee and his teenage friend.
Then when we confronted Ryelee about it, because we thought they might have done it, he's like, well, check the cameras. The bank has cameras. So they're already smart enough to know about the cameras. Yeah. Maybe the drive-through, I don't know. But there's footprints in the concrete too,
sure,
from that night. And then we went and confronted him, and he said, no, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But then we asked, hey, where's this Ashton kid? Let's go to his parents' house.
Yeah.
And he would refuse to take us out there.
Okay.
So he said one of them lives out by Wyelee, by Highway 10 somewhere.
Yeah.
And the other, his mom maybe? Yeah. And then the father lives somewhere in Appleton.
Okay.
And we found out they were in Appleton and Wausau today. So we don't know where they stashed the animals.
Sure.
But Camel menthols, none of them smoke Camel menthols in their house. I smoke Camel menthols.
Yeah.
We saw an empty Camel menthol pack in their ashtray.
Okay.
So when they went through my glove box, I think they grabbed a pack of my cigarettes.
Sure.
I mean, that's not evidence, but it is, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Police open a case. Bill opens something else, vengeance. He calls around, he starts digging. He tells people he knows exactly who did it, Ryelee. Instead of waiting for officers to recover the stolen reptiles, Bill decides he's going to get them back himself. He and Tiffany gather weapons, a shotgun, another long gun, ammunition. Later, investigators will catalog a hammer, knives, even a pair of handcuffs in the car. None of that shows up in reports until after the shooting, but in hindsight, the preparation is undeniable. At about 10 o'clock at night, they turn down Van Street, a quiet residential block. Doorbell cameras will later confirm the timing. Their headlights pick up a lone figure walking. It's Ryelee Manente Powell. Bill stops the car and steps out, shotgun in hand. The door remains open, engine running, as the confrontation escalates instantly. Tiffany, Rylee's mom, steps out too, and at one point, the doorbell footage appears to show her holding the rifle. Ryelee removes his shirt. Investigators will note this detail again later. He shouts at Bill, challenging him to fight without the gun.
Put it down and fight like a man! Put it down and fight like a man!
There's no visible attempt to leave. No sign anyone is afraid enough to withdraw. Seconds later, the report of a gunshot. The neighbor who hears it looks outside and sees a body lying face down behind the car. It's Ryelee, Tiffany's son. Bill and Tiffany, though, are back in the front seat of the vehicle, not touching him or checking for a pulse.
My God, I'm sick.
Officers arrive quickly and secure the area.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Paramedics kneel over the teenager in the street, but there's nothing they can do. Once the scene on Van Street is secured and the evidence is under control, investigators begin gathering statements. Within hours of the shooting, William Wild Bill Zelenski is transported back to the station for questioning. He's just been involved in a fatal shooting, but as the interview begins in the early morning hours, his focus is not on the teenager now receiving emergency care. Instead, his first questions are practical.
Do you happen to know if I'll be able to, get out of here tonight or tomorrow, or what this?
You'll probably have to see a judge tomorrow, I think.
So I'll have to spend the night here?
Yeah, I think so.
Shoot, okay. I mean, I understand, but I've never spent the night in jail before.
Yeah.
So that really sucks.
That mindset, concern for his own predicament before the victim's well-being, is immediately logged. It contrasts with the expected urgency if the shooter were truly in fear of a life-threatening attack moments earlier. When probed about the confrontation, Bill tries to frame himself as reluctant, even protective.
I just hope Ryeelee's okay. I don't know if there's a way to find out if he's going to be okay. I really worry about him.
Not right now.
No, I know, but man, I don't want to have to do anything to hurt him.
As the questioning continues, Bill starts to talk to police officers about his law enforcement background, insisting that what he did is what he was trained to do as a police officer.
I'd still like to cooperate with you, but if that's the warrants for first degree intentional homicide, not, self-defense, that blows my mind. Like, I mean, I'm a former police officer. I followed my training to a T to defend yourself and stop the threat.
But investigators are already comparing these explanations against what they have seen on camera and what they now know about the shot. Close range, no scuffle, no attempt to withdraw. Bill then shifts the focus to his stolen reptiles, as if the context explains the escalation.
I know there's some reptiles and stuff taken, but that led to stuff today, correct? Did someone notify?
Yeah, I spent the last couple of days, filling out the paperwork. I'm sorry, I can't remember the officer's name.
That's okay, I can look that up.
So I called the sheriff's department hoping that an officer would respond and get that information, since live animals were what was taken from them.
And I know you like your animals.
But yeah, and I don't want them to die.
Yep.
To detectives, this demonstrates motive, not justification. It shows the weight Bill places on the missing reptiles and how personally he viewed the theft. In custody, Bill reacts to the homicide charge not with disbelief about a death, but shock that his actions might be legally defined as murder.
Why did any of this have to happen? I didn't want anything like this. Now this is worse. Like, it was bad enough, now it's worse. What to do? Now I can't help anybody from here.
While Bill offers a controlled narrative referencing training and self-defense, Tiffany Powell's interview is the opposite, shifting, uncertain, and gradually aligning with forensic reality.
I'm just gonna open this up. We'll have a seat in here. Thanks for coming down. Grab a seat anywhere in here.
In her first recorded statement, she supports Bill's account of why they were looking for Ryelee in the first place.
If you can go back further in the day for me, like how did we get to the point that Ryelee and Bill, got to the confrontation?
Bill was robbed a couple days ago and it was Ryelee.
Okay. How did he come to that conclusion that it was Ryelee that did that?
Well, there was pictures of bottles on Ryelee's Snapchat from Bill's, where Bill was stolen from Bill, and the lady called him.
This explains suspicion, not fear. It's a property dispute, not a threat to life. When discussing the confrontation, Tiffany describes Ryelee becoming physically aggressive.
Where were you in the car?
In the passenger, but I was out. I was asking Ryelee why he would do what he did, and he just wanted to fight Bill. He just kept he threw off his jacket and everything to try to fight Bill.
What did he say why he took the items that he took?
He wouldn't admit to it.
Okay, so he was denying it the whole
I
time.
even said that we were on our way to recover him from his friend's house, and he kept denying.
Okay. Was Ryelee the only one there? So it was just you, Bill, and Ryelee?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall about what time this was?
No, like 10 maybe, I don't know.
Okay. So, going back to the verbal argument, how did things kind of transpire? Like, you said that Ryelee threw off his jacket. So what do you recall, like, what else happened?
Ryelee just started coming at Bill like he was gonna attack him. And I thought that he would tase him, but I guess he shot him. I don't know.
So when you say coming at him, like, what was he doing?
Went to swing on him or something to attack him.
Did you see Ryelee try to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did Bill do in reaction? So he didn't try to fight, block any of the swings or anything like that? He just,
I don't know.
you didn't see anything?
Nothing in her description meets the threshold required for lawful armed self-defense. As questioning continues, Tiffany struggles with specifics. Where exactly was she standing? How long did the argument last? And what movements occurred before the shot?
Where were you standing in relation to, like, the vehicle and Ryelee and Bill as this was all going down? Do you recall?
Like behind the car, like behind the car. Like.
Okay, so if this is the car, so you were behind the car, if this is the front? Where were Bill and Ryelee?
On the side.
So they're on the driver's side of the car?
Or like a little further. I'm not sure.
Okay. So how much time would you say had elapsed from the time that you guys stopped there to the time that Bill shot at Ryelee?
Not very long. I'm not sure.
Like 15 seconds or?
Maybe like a few minutes.
Okay, so you were there a little bit arguing back and forth. You don't remember any particular words that were said? Okay.
Except that Ryelee said I was dead to him, that's what I remember.
That's one thing that sticks to you.
These inconsistencies aren't viewed as deception at first, but the interview environment changes once investigators review the doorbell video and can see the confrontation unfold more clearly than Tiffany has described. When detectives confront her about the fact that she was holding the gun, her certainty disappears altogether.
He didn't ever make any comments that he wanted to hurt Ryelee as to why he took the gun or anything? Okay. So you don't know if the gun was loaded the whole time? You never saw him load it? Okay. So there's a lot of things, I'm going to be honest with you, Tiffany, there's a lot of things that aren't adding up with what you're telling me. We have surveillance videos. So I need you to be honest with me. Did Bill hand you anything at any time?
I don't remember.
Do you remember holding the firearm?
Yeah, focus on your son. You have focus on your son.
Were you or are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
Because the video is telling me otherwise. What would you say if I watched that video and I saw Bill tell you specifically to hold the gun on your son, and I have video of you holding that gun pointing it right at him?
I might have held the gun, I don't know.
Well, you might have, or you did?
I don't know. I just can't remember. There was a lot of yelling and screaming.
I think you would remember if you were holding a firearm and pointing it at your own son, though.
There was just a lot of yelling and screaming.
So what did Ryelee do when he ran towards the vehicle? What happened after that?
I don't know.
Had Bill ever threatened Riley's life previously?
No.
What if I told you I'd been told otherwise? You never heard Bill say anything derogatory?
He was gonna kill Ryelee? No.
So, once Bill had shot Ryelee, What were your and Bill's reactions? Like, what did you do?
I just didn't want to touch him because I didn't know if that would hurt him.
Okay. Do you remember where you went, where you moved to, where you were standing?
I called 911.
Okay. Were you in the car, out of the car?
I don't think it wasn't in the car.
Okay. You weren't in the car?
I don't think so.
Okay.
While the teenager lied gravely wounded, there was no attempt to provide assistance. Investigators also ask about the presence of the shotgun.
Why would Bill grab a shotgun from his shop if he's just going to pick up animals? He didn't say anything why he was grabbing it?
I just thought he grabbed it so no one went and stole it. He got it before he heard about the animals.
So he'd already put it in the car before he heard where the animals were located?
Yeah.
Well, what was his intentions then of doing that if he didn't know where the animals were?
He always carried a gun, I don't know.
He always carried a gun, but yet he didn't have one from East Road to town?
Right.
Okay.
Because all of them were the ones who were stolen out of his car.
So he always had guns in the car?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he have any other handguns that you'd seen besides the ones that were taken?
No.
Had you ever seen this shotgun before?
Yeah.
You had? Where else had you seen it?
Since his handguns were taken, he's been carrying them.
So it was in the car routinely, or?
Yeah.
This directly undermines any claim of an impulsive reaction in the moment. As the interview goes on, Tiffany is confronted with more contradictions. Her proximity to the weapon, the recorded instructions from Bill, and the footage showing control shifting between them.
So when you left there was no intentions? Bill had never said anything about Ryelee? He never said anything about confronting him, looking for him, talking to him? Did he try to contact him again?
No.
You don't remember him getting like highly agitated or anything that may have stuck out as to why all of a sudden now he goes from going to pick up his animals to wanting to fight Ryelee?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Alright. So as I mentioned, in the video you're clearly seen holding a firearm. And you're saying you don't recall that?
Mm-mm.
You don't remember pointing a firearm at your own son? You don't remember what Bill said to you?
No.
And you are a convicted felon, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you understand you can't be in possession of a firearm. So here's the situation: you're going to be placed under arrest today for possession of a felon in possession of a firearm and a probation hold.
Tiffany barely reacts. She just sits there, trying to process the words. Back at the scene on Van Street, officers begin documenting everything and anything that would be important for a case. The position of the body, the location of the vehicle, the angle of the street light overhead. Bill already said that he was acting in self-defense, that he felt threatened. But in homicide work, statements come second. What comes first is evidence, and evidence doesn't lie. They recover the shotgun from inside the car, another long gun, ammunition lined and ready. Weapons that certainly don't square with the idea of a conversation gone bad. Knives, restraints, a hammer, tools that suggest planning, not panic. Investigators also document what didn't happen. No attempt to render first aid, no call for help until after the shooter feels safe in his car, and no signs the teenager ever wielded a weapon.
She didn't go help him, she didn't do anything, and they were just so calm.
Who's they?
Bill and her. Bill said, I shot him, he came at me, so I shot him.
Did you hear him say that?
Yeah, he told me.
Who told you?
We heard the gunshot, so I went out there. They came over prior. Bill and Tiffany came over to my house. I was pulling in, and they pulled in, and I was like, what the hell do they want, you know? And they were saying that Ryelee had robbed Bill, and that Bill had got a phone call stating that he's supposed to go to the police station to talk with them. And then they said, well, we'll stop back when we're done. So, like 25 minutes went by and we're sitting here and I heard the gunshot. And so I looked out that little window and I seen their car and they were both sitting in it when I seen them. just sitting in the car. And I seen like this big lump behind the car, and I was like, oh my God, I thought that they hit a pedestrian. So I went out there more and seen Ryelee sitting like that. And I said, Ryelee, are you okay? Ryelee, are you okay? And he wasn't moving, and they were just standing there.
You said you saw him standing outside of the gun, but you said they were sitting in the car.
They were sitting in the car when I was looking out the window. So
That
I don't
was-
know if he
that
got
was
out and
af-
shot
that-
him.
So that was before the shot.
It was after the shot.
Okay.
So I think maybe he got back in the car. I don't know if maybe they thought they were going to take off or something, because they were sitting in the car when I looked out the window. That's why I thought maybe they blew a tire, but then why is that garbage bag? What is behind the car? So I went out there and I was like, hey guys, you know, what the F are you doing? What the hell happened? Ryelee was like this. And there was just blood gushing out, and he wasn't responding, of course, and moving, and she just stood there. And he was real calm, and then he got arrested, and she just was kind of like standing there, and I'm like, you need to go to the hospital. You need to see how he's doing. So then she got a ride apparently and bailed out of here.
These are the kinds of details that shift a narrative from I feared for my life to I wanted retribution. Meanwhile, the other half of the case is unfolding elsewhere. The stolen reptiles, the spark that lit the fire, are located. Within a day of the shooting, investigators tracked the stolen reptiles to a small house outside Wapaka, the home of a friend connected to Ryelee. The animals were found alive in the basement, kept in makeshift terrariums and plastic tubs. The stolen property case is now closed, but by the time those reptiles were carried out of that basement, the investigation had already shifted from theft to homicide. William Wild Bill Zelenski is charged with first-degree intentional homicide for the shooting death of 18-year-old Ryelee Manente Powell. Tiffany Powell also faced charges of first-degree intentional homicide as party to a crime, along with felon in possession of a firearm. And before they face a judge, the case file expands again, not with new evidence, but with recorded jail calls.
I don't know if there's speedy trials for murder, but everyone's entitled to a speedy trial. I want a speedy trial.
That's right. I just don't like to hear you use those terms.
I have nothing to do with my son's murder, Mom. I mean, I was there, but
I know. I don't want to hear you say those words towards yourself, because it hurts my heart. I mean, yes, you made horrible decisions, and there's the worst consequences in the world because of it. But you had no intent. I'm just trusting in God that it's just gonna work out.
It's all my fault anyway. I raised Ryelee wrong. I f***ed up. I gave him that gangster mentality. And I swear I tried to squash it from him, but no.
Across the prison system, another recording captures William Zelenski on the line from the Wood County Jail.
Hello, this is a free call from
Answer, please.
an inmate at Wood County Jail.
So, anyway, so what'd you all find out now?
Yeah, so Tiffany Rose's mom does not want you to write to Tiffany Rose at all.
Why?
But I don't know. I think she's just very mad at you and wishes there was the electric chair yet.
Oh, she wants me fired for doing it.
Yeah.
From the start, prosecutors treated the two defendants very differently. Before trial, Tiffany was offered a plea agreement, which she accepted, admitting guilt to first-degree recklessly endangering safety and felon in possession of a firearm. She receives 15 years in prison and 8 years of extended supervision. But Wild Bill wouldn't be taking a plea. He wants his day in court, and he gets it, but it doesn't turn out in his favor. After 5 days of testimony, Wild Bill is found guilty of first-degree intentional homicide. At his sentencing, the courtroom is silent when Rylee's paternal grandmother stands to deliver her victim impact statement. Her voice carries the blunt edge of anger that's been waiting 3 years for release.
I love Ryelee very much. He was the light of my life. We laughed all the time. He will be very missed. Wild Bill took and killed him. He chose to shoot my grandson. Please, Your Honor, this man needs to be in prison behind bars before he kills again. I hope he rots in prison for this case. Your Honor, he chose to load a shotgun. He chose to point the shotgun at my grandson with no care of human life. He had enough weapons in his car to fill this courtroom. If he was so afraid of an unarmed teenager, I can't wait till he meets the inmates and murderers. I hope he is very afraid.
When she finishes, the room exhales, and then another voice rises, just as devastating.
Even as a young child, he was smart beyond his years, unexpectedly witty, loving and mischievous. He filled the room with laughter and sunshine.
Her statement runs long, a portrait of who Ryelee was and who he might have become.
He was generous and funny, and he had the biggest, most forgiving heart a person could have. He was troubled and struggling from a chaotic and dysfunctional upbringing. His mother struggled with mental health and behavioral issues since childhood. Ryelee was so much more than he has been portrayed during this trial. He was 17 years old. He got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, worked hard all day, came home and played with his son, fed him, put him to bed, visited with his girlfriend, and played video games. He was living a respectable, blue-collar life, and he was so proud of his accomplishments. I don't even have to close my eyes to see her stance as she pulled up the gun on his command. I can't erase the image of my grandson's kneeling body crumpled on the ground. I see it now. What time do I have left? I'm trapped in the 10 to 15 seconds it took him to die.
She ends with a plea to the judge, one that folds anger, grief, and exhaustion into a single request.
It seems only just that the man who took my grandson's life should pay with the length of his own. He showed my Ryelee no mercy. I ask that you allow justice to return the favor with a life sentence and no possibility of parole. Thank you.
When the court invites the defendant to speak, Wild Bill doesn't turn down the opportunity.
I never intended for anything like this to happen. I certainly never wanted to shoot Ryelee, and I definitely didn't want him to die. I'm very sorry.
Judge Raymond Huber was unmoved.
After the shooting, though, his actions also caused this court concern. He didn't go and check on Ryelee, didn't go see if he should render any aid. He stood away. He claims apparently he wanted to be sure he wasn't going to jump up at him. I have a hard time believing that after he knew the shotgun had discharged and Ryelee had slumped over. Obviously, he couldn't have rendered any aid that would have changed the circumstances, but the fact that he didn't go and at least check on what was, for lack of a better word, his stepson, causes this court concern. It shows a disconnect in his thought processes.
And a few minutes later, the ruling is final. Life in prison with eligibility for extended supervision after 35 years. Rylee's death changed everything and solved nothing. A teenage boy is gone, 2 families destroyed, and the fight that started it all, a handful of stolen reptiles, was never worth the cost. For Law&Crime Investigates, I'm Kristin Thorne.